to the podcast, Big Conversations by Ordinary People.
Thank you.
I just got to know you have an EP, and what are you trying to communicate in the EP? Let's first start there before you.
Well, my new EP that I'm working on is actually called Boda Boda. And it's about having a good time. So in my EP, all the songs are about, having a good time, not taking things so seriously, chill. Yeah. So it's about good vibes.
Boda Boda then.
Boda Boda. So it's called Boda Boda because this music is the connotation or the metaphoric thing with the Boda Boda name is it's called Boda Boda because when you're in a Boda Boda, like you feel like the wind is taking you, and so that's what I wanted to call my EP, to give you the same experience you feel when you're in a Boda, like the wind and the vibe.
All the times I'm seated on a Boda, I'm fighting for my life.
Are you serious?
And when you're coming up that hill, you almost can just fall. The Boda can trip and take you back. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
With the feeling and the EP. How many songs are on the EP?
6.
You have specific features?
Specific features, not yet. Like we're working with some people, so it's still in the pipeline. Like we're still talking to have them on board. But yeah, I want to feature some 2 artists on the EP.
So for you, what's in for you with the music? Do you see yourself like winning a Grammy, or you just singing because you can?
Well, personally, I actually want to sing to make people happy, like to impact people using music. Like if somebody is going to have like a bad day and listen to my song and like, oh yeah, I feel like my win is impacting people with my music. I don't know, yes, maybe I would love to win a Grammy one day, but with my music, I really want it to be something that would impact people positively.
How is this in the message you craft?
Okay, why I'm saying it's inspired by like take a chill pill, it's because there's so much going on right now in the world, in the country, and everybody's mind is on cost of living. Everything is expensive, everything. But like if at all, like you take off 3, 4, 5 minutes and just listen to my music and like have that calm you, and you're like, oh man, like there's at least something good in this country to appreciate. That's what I believe my music would do.
So you do both the music, then you act. You're taken up in the creative the whole time.
Yeah.
How is acting for you? How do you immerse yourself in a character?
Well, every character is different, so I approach every character differently. Usually, when they give me like the role and I'm briefed on what I'm supposed to do, sometimes actually they give you like the script the night before, and you have to like prepare your mind.
Wait, they give you a script the night before?
Yeah, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it does happen because now, like on these sets that have like series going on, they're working with like a time schedule that. So if your roles are like not like a major role, let's say it's a minor role, not a lead role, because lead roles definitely you have to have time and run through and everything. But sometimes if they're bringing you on board and let's say the series was already going on, they may not have time to brief you through, so they'll like give you a call and everything and then just recruit you. And like the night before, you have to like immerse yourself to understand who this is. So usually it does help. This is like for a series, if you've either watched or like you go and research and watch what the character you're supposed to act with has been like, in order to like now fix yourself, like how am I going to blend with this character? Say if it's a guy and I'm going to be like this lady or this fling that will walk into his life, but then I need to determine and know what character is he, because sometimes they will give you a script like with one line and everything, and it's up to you to create some other parts in your mind.
Oh.
Yeah, like
So
you build your character. Yes, exactly.
How easy is it though to get your reality and fit it to the director's concept and bring? How is it for you? How is it easy for you to
Well,
Are there characters that you fail to fit into?
no, I haven't, because with the different time frames, like I've said, there's those that where we had time to prepare and practice, and I had to research because like I can't afford to show up on set and have failed. Like that's the certain things that I can't have myself do or frustrate the director or. So I usually do my research, like I do my side research and see people who've acted such characters before, because nothing's new in the film industry. Like if like they tell you you're going to do this, there's been a million people and a million movies, short films and skits and everything that have had people act like that. So sometimes I'll use Oscar winners to inspire me and see if there was a crying scene, how did they cry on cue? Because not every set actually has because there's something they use for the tears. But then there's crying on cue. So I did my research and everything. So usually that's what I do. I prepare myself beforehand in order to fit in the role that has been given in that particular script.
How easy is it to cry in a role? Like if you just come to act and you have to, because crying is just not bringing out the tears.
Yeah. It's emotion. And everything.
Do you like look back in your memory and
yes.
get a moment?
Definitely. Why? Because you're not doing one take.
Okay.
And yet you have to cry in all the takes and be consistent. So you have to keep digging up. Like you find that one memory that you believe will make you cry or bring out those emotions of sadness, or if it's tears of joy, of happiness. But this time, let me say crying on cue is for sadness. So then you focus on it and keep building on it. Let me say, even imagine further. Let me say something as bad as losing a relative.
Yeah.
You go back in your memory and start to picture the person dead. Let me say, even if they're alive. So you cultivate all the emotions of how you would feel in that moment, and then before you know it, you find yourself releasing them now on camera.
Do you have an idea of how you can get, do you like meditate and go back, how you get back in your memory to look for like, because that's so genius. I feel like if I can do it and get back into my memory to pick like a happy moment, I wouldn't be sad all my life, because whenever I like get feeling of sadness, I just do that.
Okay, the difference is reality and acting is because in reality, like if like what you're saying, like being sad, if at all people always used to dig up from the past good memories, they would be happy people, is because the reality is it's hard to be deliberate to keep going backwards, to dig and look for something happy. And that so-called, or so to say, happy memory may not match up to the negativity you're going through in the moment, in reality, you get. So it may not even match up. And even if you're trying to be happy, like, oh, that was a happy moment, you will still be sad when you're thinking about the happy moment. That's the difference. Now, on screen, you're acting. You can live in the moment because in that moment, you're going through the emotions within that moment. Different from reality. Yeah.
Again, for you with the acting, are you looking at expanding big to like win Oscars?
Yes, definitely. Now with acting, I definitely want to win an Oscar, but I also want to be able to work with different producers all over the world and actors. So I've really been casting my net, to be honest. I've been casting my net as much as I can outside the walls of the country of Uganda, outside East Africa, and within Africa as well. So yeah, I do hope to build on my acting career, and I really want to grow in that field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. So, something escaped my mind. It was about the music.
Yeah.
And the film. And you doing this like, you do this full time, yeah? You're either in studio recording music or you're on set acting.
Yes, so acting, sometimes I'm doing TVCs, that's television commercials, adverts, or sometimes I'm in studio recording voiceover
ads.
Voiceover ads for radio or for gyms or for different things. Yeah.
So for you, you fully immersed yourself as a creative, and
In the arts and entertainment industry. Yes.
how is that how is that easy in like our economy, where is the money there in the film? Are people, because most of the guys I've listened to, they keep saying, no, there's no money in Ugandan film. Like to succeed, you have to have a day job. Things.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. The truth is, there's money,
Okay.
but the money has been given to certain people. If you
What do you
can
mean
allow me
being
to say
given
that,
to?
like there's organizations of people within the country that have gone to the government and told them, see, we're organized like this and like this and like this. And so because of that organization, they have dished out money. But now, see, the problem is the money is available, but the movie quality and okay, there's like a lot of, let me call it technical know-who. Like there's people who are sliding in their people. And yet when you look at the quality of a movie, it doesn't really match up to certain standards. Say if you wanted to pitch your movie to Netflix, you look at the quality we are giving and it doesn't match up to Netflix.
Ugandan movie? What's that movie you'd call like this was the perfect Ugandan movie? Like everything is good. The acting was good. The production was all good. Yeah. And what makes for you? What do you consider to be like? You know what? This was a good movie, and this just doesn't.
I'll just go. Technically, a good movie
Yeah.
is made of good acting.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely good acting, good dialogue. Like if you're having all your characters doing the right thing, not overacting, but being real with acting. Secondly, lighting.
Yeah.
Because lighting can really affect your movie. Like, what does it? It does destroy a movie if you have good actors but a very bad picture. So the picture of a movie is also very key. And then thirdly, sound. Sound is actually the life of a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you were to turn on your TV and watch a horror movie without sound, it's actually like a cartoon. Like you're going to laugh at people running and without sound. But put good sound, good lighting, and it takes a lot to also make a movie. You're going to go into the nitty-gritties of like wardrobe as well, because if you're going to have someone, say, a slay queen acting, and then you're going to dress her in a gomesi or what, like, so it takes generally down to also the nitty-gritties to make a good movie. And the money is not really being given to actually encourage filmmakers to, because you have filmmakers who are hungry, who want to.
The money for film, can it only be gotten from government?
Right now, people are actually
have,
trying to pitch
to other production
Yes,
companies.
they're trying to pitch. They're trying to pitch to non-profits as well. And I believe from the likes of Chadala, that's why you're seeing, because I believe when he was, that's Richer Hand behind Chadala.
That's Humphrey.
Yes, that's Humphrey Namibanya. And they've had to talk and pitch to non-profits as well, because within, if you try to trust the system, you're going to be disappointed. So you have so many disappointed filmmakers who are actually really good, but they've been discouraged by what you're saying, like film doesn't have money. And so it has become so hard. So it's generally not an easy field to be in, because it requires consistency, resilience, and at the same time patience while you're doing your thing. Because most people have seen Lukman Ali do what he's doing of, girl in the yellow jumper, they think he just came up. But he was working in an advertising agency before. Like, he's been at his craft for a minute before you actually saw him. So patience, resilience, consistency at your good work, and continuous research and growth. Yeah.
Usually with characters and people acting as listening to the Amber Heard and the Jenny Depp scenarios.
Yeah.
I was reading all these comments both on YouTube, on the internet, and everywhere.
And watching the trial,
and watching the channels and the live sessions, some of them. So people are saying her reality was exactly what she used to also portray in the movies. Yeah, most of her reality. Like this was the stuff. What character are you? Is it the person people are going to listen to on this podcast? Is that what you act? Is that what you bring out in acting, or it's totally different for you? Your realities.
I think it varies. Some people actually have an extension of themselves on set. Like Johnny Depp. Let me give an example since you're talking about him. All his movies, he's been clumsy. Like he's been a bit clumsy and like funny and if you actually notice through the trials, he actually kept cracking people up. Like that's an extension of him. If you watch Alice in Wonderland, Sweeney Todd, The Demonic Baba, something like that, he's always been like that. Pirates of the Caribbean. So some actors actually, it's an extension of themselves. Like then sometimes you'll see this actor, he's always a bad guy in every movie. I'm sure you've seen that. Like he's always the mafia. Yeah, so some actors have that as an extension, while others can take on any role. Like they can be this frustrated, let's say, widow in one movie, and then in the next one they're going to be this empowered woman and kicking butt. Sorry. Yeah. So an example I can give there is Viola Davis. She, in How to Get Away with Murder, she's giving you this this woman who's coming up with all this. Then you have in some movies where she's vulnerable. So I believe it varies. Different characters.
Speaking of How to Get Away with Murder, I read somewhere that the writer got away with actually killing the husband in her reality. So that also makes the show more interesting. Because again, acting.
The writer is Shonda Rhimes.
No,
it's not a Shonda Rhimes movie.
There's a white woman.
It's a Shonda Rhimes movie.
No, okay, yes, but there's that. How to Get Away with Murder is Shonda Rhimes. That's given. But is there like a book? Yeah.
I'm also not sure.
Yeah, because there's like a story that's based on tweets that was written by this white woman. I just don't know the name. We'll cross check that. We'll also read the story after the podcast. Yeah, but they ruled last week where she's now guilty of killing the husband.
Are you sure?
Like 70 years ago, and she's behind.
What? I need to check out that story.
But that is also the thing with usually with actors. Don't you feel like you're always going to have to portray the director's reality regardless of whether it's weird or not? Like you see Nigerian movies.
Yeah.
How there's so much witchcraft. When I found out that Patience Ozoko was like very
born
religious,
Christian and everything, yes.
All this preaching, that was so weird to me because how is it possible that she's acting? It's just acting, and you're portraying this whole evil side, and you get out of that picture. How do you not get taken up in the picture of what you act?
Well, it's also important to understand that this is acting. Like the basis of it is this is acting. Like so many times when I'm watching with my mom, she gets so attached and I have to keep reminding her, oh, by the way, those guys are just acting and they made their money.
Do you have any movies that have made you cry?
Movies that have made me cry? Notebook. I'm sure that's like the universal movie that has made everyone cry. Then there was this movie, oh my God, I've forgotten its name. But it was about this guy who was in a wheelchair and everything, and this lady took care of him. And yeah, they fell in love. And at the end of it all, he actually died because they couldn't be together. He died and he left her all the wealth and she had been broke. So yeah, I have a few that have made me cry.
So for them, it was just in that moment. You see, you skip the whole point.
Yes.
It was just acting.
Yes.
You get into. So that was the point I was trying to make. Yes, someone that wrote the movies. Yes, yeah. Because I read, that's a male, but I read, and there was the woman that's a case. It was interesting that, she wrote something, but it's always their realities fitting into the director's. I do also believe that the books now, like Harry Potter, the books are more interesting than the movies, or do you believe that directors of the movies have done so much that, to me, I prefer the movies to the books, but I also don't like reading a lot.
You actually have people, you always have people who prefer the books to the movies because they feel like, okay, this wasn't portrayed well. Yeah. Then you actually do have movies that have portrayed, like, let me call it 100%, and like done like a great job of giving you the picture. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, I feel like those were really well depicted. And then the most recent movie that I watched that was based on a book that wasn't actually done well was 365 Days, the second one. People were making so much noise about the first one, 365 Days, so they did a second one, and it portrayed nothing like compared to the steamy and like the kind of vibe it gave in the book. So I think it's different. Some projects may get it not right, not so right, as much as it's given in the book, and some actually nail it. Yeah.
But to you, what works for you? Do you prefer the books? Do you also read? When you look at acting here,
Yeah.
do you the few actors I've met, they feel like acting is just that they'll give you a script and you go back and forth with the directors, and there's like little research, like people are not invested in becoming like Keanu Reeves or what, the energy, even the guys that are acting, like some bit of action. Do you believe that the acting is lacking from, if you had like a budget, a whole laid out budget for a movie and very good directors, do you think you'll find the right people down here in Kampala to pull off a very good movie?
Well, for starters, the only way to find good people is by doing proper auditions. Like, do a casting call. Don't call people who you know have already made it in big movies, or so to say, some movies that have been watched.
Yeah.
When you actually do the casting, you get to discover new talent, people who are actually putting in effort out there that you will never know about, and you can only find out if you cast. So I believe there's people who actually are putting in effort. Personally, nobody gave me the idea of taking on martial arts, but I started doing martial arts because I said, one day should I end up on a big set and I'm kicking butt and everything, I'll be ready. So I feel like there's people out there who are pushing themselves without anyone telling them what to do, and they can be discovered. And I believe, yes, if I were to do a big movie, I would find the people as long as I do a proper casting call.
Have you auditioned for other movies and series you've acted in?
Yeah.
Or you've had...
Some I've been called, but many I've done auditions. Yeah. Because they're always different. They have different requirements and what, and are you funny? Can you tap into your funny side? And you have to really look for your comical side. And so yeah, I've really done auditions.
What do you think makes you a great actor, you as Felicity?
I believe what makes me a good actor is I'm flexible and I can be dynamic. Like, should I be on set and I have my lines right and the director is like, okay, can you add this other line? Can you say it like this? Can you take out all that? I want to insist that, okay, you see, I had crammed this. I've taken like some sleepless nights cramming this. I'll be like, now, what do you want me to execute? How? I personally am very flexible and dynamic. I think that's what makes me a good actor.
What do you think is lacking in the film space here? Like, why do you think we don't have very many movies on Netflix?
Okay. I believe we don't have many movies on Netflix because people don't want to research. People don't want to grow. They're comfortable. Everyone's comfortable with, okay, so I did this movie, and I'm not disregarding or discrediting people who have put in effort and done their good movies. They've done a good job. But grow from that. Like, I'm not going to watch season 1, season 2, and season 3 of this series that has no dynamic. Like, it's like that. Like, they'll introduce new characters, they'll introduce this, it's like a telenovela, but can I put it to compete with other Kenyan or South African stories? Not really, because it doesn't have a thrill or an aspect that will keep you on the edge of your seat. So I believe people are too comfortable, number one, and a lack of research, because you have to actually research in order to grow and put in effort and money to do all these things. In order to like make more money, you have to spend money. invest in all these things, in yourself, in learning online courses and acting, researching, watching all these guys, like, because there's some Facebook page called The Talks, and it's about all these different actors that give their perspectives on acting, their different roles and what. Like, it just helps you keep picking up and not be discouraged, because some of these guys actually broke out when they were 30. You get? So if you're in your 20s and you're feeling discouraged, like this industry is not working, you're looking at a big actor who's out there and they're saying they broke out when they were just 30. So I feel like research is the one thing that people don't really go in as a whole, all of us. We don't really do in-depth research and personal growth in that line and field of arts and entertainment.
So in a world where there's like a lot of distractions and people have a lot of short attention spans,
Yeah.
Now look at this podcast.
Yeah.
Usually the conversations are 1 hour plus,
Yeah.
but average numbers, because people who watch and finish
Yeah.
are not so many.
That's
'Cause
true.
People don't want to watch
Yeah.
whole thing. So how do you then make sure your movie, people are going to give it the attention it deserves, and not just because they're going to feel like, you know what, it's a Ugandan movie and we have to support the local creatives. But what do you think is that thing we are not seeing on TV, that once we start seeing this type of acting or of stories, the art of storytelling from whatever directors out there, people will get much more interested, because you guys have been acting. I don't know, maybe it's just me that I don't watch a lot of Ugandan film, but all the times I've tried to watch the Ugandan films, it's all the same. If you watch one show on this TV, they're like telenovas, that's how we got off the telenovas. It's the same story. It's either this guy is going to fuck the Mgaga's wife, then the wife is going to get separate children, then there's going to be some drama there.
Predictable,
Yeah, it's always predictable. Thank you. That is like the word. Like that's always what I've gotten off. The stories are just so predictable. They're so obvious stories. I don't know if it's the daily day-to-day realities of most people, and that's what the directors aim for. But to you, what do you think are those stories we can start portraying more in Ugandan film?
Well, I believe all movies in different countries actually portray from the realities of what's going on. If you watch an American black film, you're going to have gun violence, you're going to have all these things, street life and everything, because it's a portrayal of what's actually happening in their real life. Nigerian movies, witchcraft, and that has become known all over the world, that Nigerians, witchcraft and everything. Like, acting shouldn't really also be so far from what you can relate to. It shouldn't, like, you can have fantasy. But we've seen fantasy films.
I disagree with that somehow, because Nigeria has so much going on. There's so many stories you can tell on business, the business leaders.
That's what I'm saying. An extension of a reality. Like, if again you're talking about the business leaders, the oil, there's movies on their oil and everything, like from their realities. So I believe also this country, okay, because of, I won't really get into it, but there's a lot of like, people can't really tell even the political side in film because of like the fear and everything of what can easily happen to them, because I think there's only one leading political film that we've seen, and that's 27 Guns. 27 Guns. Exactly. And for obvious reasons, I won't get into it. So I feel like some people are limited. They feel too afraid to expand into some of those.
So you're saying the political instability affects how people tell their stories?
Yeah, it does.
Greatly.
Yes, it does. Because you see how...
Does that then limit you as the actor?
As the actor, I'm taking on what's given to me by all these people, the writer, and I'm taking on their story and I'm just portraying it. As an actor, it's not limiting me because I'm just taking on what you've... Yes, exactly.
Okay. That's very... How do you think that could be solved, the way we tell our stories? How do you think we can tell stories better?
Well, how we can tell a story? Okay, for starters, I strongly believe that one of the things that has us lacking is lack of unity in the industry. Like, you're going to have people pulling each other down, and yet if we backed each other up, let's say, let me give the best example that everyone knows. Lukman Ali has put out a movie. Yeah? if it was not on Netflix, do you realize that there's a percentage of people that wouldn't have watched it?
I mean, that's how
Or
we're
the hype.
getting on Netflix.
No, that's
When
what I'm
you get
saying.
on
The
Netflix.
oneness. No, before you talk about Netflix, I'm saying we lack unity.
Okay.
Yes, it was on Netflix. It got the hype because it's Netflix, you get. But if he had not been able to get his movie onto Netflix, do you realize that most people wouldn't have watched that movie or made as much noise because of lack of unity? Like, you don't want to be happy for somebody or back him up and promote this thing and make noise about it and,
Okay,
support.
emotions aside, yeah?
No, it's not emotions.
I'm saying being happy or not, and we supported the movie.
Yes.
We have to support you.
Yes.
Do you what are your honest opinions on the movie itself? The girl in the yellow jumper.
The girl in the yellow jumper, I actually loved the twist. Like, it really did have plot twist. Like,
Who was your best actor?
my best actor, of course, I'll go with Mawuyo.
Yeah.
Yes, because he
which
literally
one?
he carried the
Both
whole
or-
movie. He
But they
carried the
both
whole.
really did carry
They
the whole
did.
movie.
Okay, they.
I think that the dad.
It's the both of them.
Yeah, the both of them really
Yeah, it's
did
the
carry
both of them. Maurice Kiria did well, and Michael Mawuyo Jr.
I think
Also,
that
the
Oyo's
dad,
did-
like his side. Okay, everybody did well. It had good. What I was saying previously of like good actors, good story, good lighting, good picture, good sound makes a good movie. Yeah.
I don't think the story was good, but everything else was good.
You don't think the story was good?
Yeah, and what was the twist to me was it became another Nigeria. That part where now, I think
In the house.
Morris, in the house. That was no. To me, that was like the whole time. But I had to watch it also. I watched it in a time where you had to watch it. You open your Twitter and the girl in the yellow
Everyone, it's
everyone
trendy.
was on
Yes,
it.
yes.
So, do you also feel like the marketing is lacking? Because this also applies to the
Yes.
movies from Hollywood.
Yes.
Some of them are just shit, but because look at Fast and Furious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep producing, then you go and watch. Then you really don't know if you watched because you just, you know, when we were in high school, we had this thing where you'd cram like lyrics of top as
Big
a hip-hop
artists,
fan,
yes,
big
yes.
artists. Then I
Yeah.
used to cram like Lilo and lyrics so that I go back knowing every verse.
Yeah.
So when someone drops on you 1 minute and you have to give a verse, you know it, so that you're like cool.
You're cool, yeah.
You just realize the marketing was really so intense
Yeah.
to them because there's so many aspects that
Yes.
make the song hit. How
Yeah.
they're addressing them, what message they're portraying, how the guys act. So I felt like the movies are also like that. So do you think even much as the stories are not yet perfect, they still know heavy budgets to market them? Like
That's
you see,
the thing. Yeah,
the
it
Lookman
goes
Ali
back to
thing
the
also had
money.
billboards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the marketing.
Yeah, it goes back to the money because you have to have a budget as well. Now, if the money is not there, then you can't have a budget because you need to budget for promo. You need to
So what
promote your
kills
movie.
the other? Me having whatever movie I can produce and having a very heavy budget, then putting it out there for people, or really concentrating on the craft. You remember like how Cafelo used to do his music?
I don't.
Okay, of course you can't remember. It's not like that. But you know, like how his music was, like it was really intentional music. Yeah, I would give it a story. This guy does it. Kendrick, 5 years without releasing music, then he comes back 5 years with like a write up of how people have been living their lives and how he's all being, how people should look out and how they should be conscious. And yeah, it comes off as he's this cool rapper. He's not just doing music to be commercial or to get hits. Yeah, he's talking to people. He's communicating a message. He knows that he's an influencer and he's trying to make some change in the world, through his music. And you can really tell when you listen to the music. Don't you think that should be given to the movies? Like the patience, you talked of the patience,
Yes.
that people should give their movies that much time, even until, once it's a good movie. I don't know if there are any good movies that have just been neglected and not given budgets, but the patience.
Okay, now I've not got because you've like
Yeah.
I didn't get the question in there, but what was the question?
I should skip the question, but I was
Yeah.
still asking on giving the craft that much attention it deserves. Do you think people are just not giving it that much attention and intensity?
Even if
people
they
are just
wanted.
rushing to shoot. You said something that shocked me, that you'd get a scene when you have to act it tomorrow. That shows poor planning. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot of poor planning and putting it out there.
No, but actually, if you watch some big actors, just allow me to go back as well to some. Some have actually said like they got the script the night before. Some big Hollywood actors. So I think it does happen sometimes. It does happen. Like I actually used to think it was limited to the industry. I mean, until I watched, and some of these guys are like, I'm in my hotel room. I got the script the previous night or 2 days before, and I have to like prepare and like get into the mindset and everything. So yeah, the point I was actually previously making was if we could back up our content with the zeal that you see, and I'm not going to go far from Africa, the way you see Kenyans back their people and Kenyan content, the way you see Tanzanians back up Tanzanians and Tanzanian content, the way you see South Africans and Nigerians back up their people, that's music, that's film, they back their content first before outsiders, is what I wish that Ugandans could do. Like back, because you'll find most Ugandans, you'll even go to the club and most of the music that's being played, like Nigerian music. So that because of everything, all factors that have come in play, social media and everything, and what's trending.
No, but it's also on sound. Have you listened to a Nigerian music song and listened to our songs and compared the two? And
Yes, I understand. But also, if at all, let me give that example of Bama looking good in Dio, yeah? Had a Ugandan done it, do you think that Ugandans would support it, no matter how good it sounds?
yeah, we've supported Chameleon for what, 100 years? Even has the guts to do his songs and we still support him. I feel like that the point of we are not giving people the support or the creatives the support is not really enough. It's not valid, in my opinion.
It's not.
Yeah, I think there's much more to it than just support because Ugandans come out for their people. If you look at, there's this DJ, popular DJ, Suna Ben. If you look at the numbers he gets for just single headlining a crowd, for just his craft, and he has a unique craft, but he has lots of numbers of support, and people have been doing this for about now 4
I
years.
believe those are the few that you're naming. I meant if people were united at supporting, you get. I'm not saying it's not
I
there.
feel like we're not getting the quality we have to strongly support. Like you'll get turned off.
Yes, yes.
You'd watch Girl in the Yellow Jumper, but first of all, there's nothing else to watch now on Netflix that is Ugandan. So you'll still get dissolved in other people's concepts. Yeah, you'll not get the right stories.
True.
But that's that. What's that one story you feel is neglected? And if you're like a director you'd tell through a movie. In Uganda, what story around here?
Of course, you definitely know I'm going to talk about the movie I studied. I would talk about A Dance with a Bride. Like that's the one story that I know that I would talk about.
What's the story behind the movie?
So the movie is about this lady who's a detective. And she feels like she's done her run and she wants out. She's been her boss like right hand and she's been taking out people and everything and she's tired. So she wants to settle down and everything. But the boss tells her, I need you to run one last errand for me and then I will let you go because she wants to get married. She happens to be dating someone within the same operation. So as she does her search to try to find out who is the gang leader, because the story is these guys are killing women and everything, she finds out that her fiance is actually the gang leader. And because she's so devoted to her work, she chooses that over like her life and everything. She didn't cover for him, she takes him out. Yeah. But at the end of the movie, we actually discover that even after she's taken him out, the actual overall boss was her boss. And he was just tying up loose ends. So I believe Joshua Sp, as a director, is one of those people in the industry that have not really been appreciated. Among so many, you get. Like, that's why I said before Lukman Ali made it there, he's been doing movies, but people were not making as much noise, yet he has a good picture, good sound, you get. So I believe Joshua Sp, he's the one who directed the movie A Dance with a Bride that I studied, is one of the many filmmakers that are underappreciated in this industry. So yeah, I believe I'd put in a budget and have that movie rolling.
What's your experience like working with Joshua Sp?
My experience working with Joshua P has been one of growth because he has actually really taught me a lot. Like on set, he will he's very handsy, he's very hands-on, and he tells you do this, do that. He pushes you to go like, no, no, no. Do you want to take that again? Like, do you want to go again and roll? Are you satisfied with what you've shot? So you take it again until, first of all, you feel satisfied, but then you're also happy with what you've executed. So it's really been a learning experience and one of pushing myself to grow. Yeah.
How many movies have you studied that are directed by him? How many
Projects.
Projects.
I've done a couple of ads, but series, there's a web series called Pesa. It's on his channel, Joshua P 360.
Yeah.
And then movies, Dance with a Bride. But then also music wise, he's also my music producer. He's on working on my music. So working with him has generally been growth. Like yeah.
That explains the 360, right?
Yes.
His 360 means he's
all round. Yes. Yes.
Do you feel like would you prefer multitasking to? But you're already doing it.
I'm multitasking, yes, and I'm voicing as well.
Voicing. Is it easier that way, or you feel like if you niched into the acting, you'd win the Oscar faster?
I think it's not about winning the Oscar faster because you actually do have some actors who are singers. You get.
Yeah.
Yes, you have many actors who are singers. And it's not about, now to me, it's not about.
Yeah, but usually they niche out, like it's either you, because again, you can't serve two masters.
You can actually do both. I strongly believe you can do both because they're both passions. Of course, film coming at the forefront, but I believe I can do both. I can give you an example. Still, I'll go back to Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp was doing all these movies, Fantastic Beasts, what. But at the same time, he's doing tours on his band. He's in a music band. Did you know that? You get and he's doing tours in Europe.
So how are you handling the music and the acting? You and Felicity, how does it balance?
How does it balance?
It just comes natural.
Movie projects, like you'll take a project, you'll do it for about a week or two, and you're done, and then you're back to music. You get a movie project. I've not yet had those big movies that say take months and everything, but I still believe when you come away from that, you have time to spare and do studio and write music and produce.
Okay, I think let's first talk about your music distribution also.
Yeah.
What's your vision how do you want to control your music? Do you have control on your music? Actually, that's the question I want to ask. I just don't know how to put it. But it's not do you have control, but do you understand what it would mean if you had control for your music as opposed to just putting your music out there to get the benefits of it just being out there?
Control, you mean what, copyrights?
Yeah, all that stuff, knowing its distribution, knowing that it's not pirated and you're willing to sacrifice it, not to just upload it everywhere. Just know that wherever my music is, I know that it's there. I'm making something off that.
Well, I'm sure you do know that in this country we don't have copyright law. So as far as we don't have the copyright law working, it does affect all artists.
You can minimize to 80%, right? And look at what Epos is doing. You just don't make your music available. What most creatives here do is they want the music to be out there. Yeah. So to them, most of them even upload it to what are these sites? mp3jaja.cc.
But before that, his music was available. You have to, because of the kind of artist he is at the moment, he can make it inaccessible and people who are let me say true fans can access it. But before that, when you're building your brand, you want your music to be everywhere. And sadly, because in this country everybody can access music easy, you want everyone to listen to the music, and then you go to that level where you can put it on those streaming platforms where you can, pay some money and stream at a small fee. But that's after you've grown. When Apos was starting out, his music was everywhere. So that's what I'm saying, that the problem
maybe
is...
he didn't know better when he was starting out.
No. Let me tell you, you have to first go out. You get, like, if the copyright law was working, then every Ugandan would know, okay, let's say Felicity's album is out, it's going to be here, and everyone is mentally prepared to, stream and pay a fee while they're streaming. But right now, because it's not in place, people think, let me say, Felicity's album is out and it's on only platforms that are for paying for, people won't. People won't go. It will only be your few cool friends and their friends who they recommend. But you won't make as big of a reach in this particular country.
Look at it in this way, yeah? You are not yet very famous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you have very good music, which the EP is coming out.
Yeah.
If you took the road of gaining control with releasing the EP, just that let me be patient with the little I can get. These people you called my soft friends. Remember, you're producing really good music. Yeah. I'll just give you an example of this podcast. Yeah. We don't do so much of the marketing because we trust some of the conversations. When I put how I get some of the big guests and people keep asking me, but you seem to be very connected. Yeah, you had this guy, you had Kenneth Mann, you had this guy. Because I don't even do so much. I tell them about the podcast, then I show them some case studies of some examples and what we're trying to be about. And they buy into that. And that is more fulfilling, yeah? You know that the product itself is very well sustaining, that when the time is right, it will be to the level of podcasting. When Joe Rogan has about 1,000, they're coming to 2,000 podcasts right now. Yeah, he's been doing podcasts until there are 1,000 podcasts. It means he has now a Spotify deal. He's the most expensive podcaster. His podcast makes the most money, but also he has this whole line where people are not giving the attention. He didn't care about the streams. He probably got 4 people to listen in. Now, like this stream, it probably has like 5 people listening into it. But in the future, when the podcast is like extremely huge, because we're not about to stop, yeah? So it's definitely, once you're consistent with something, you finish it. It eventually becomes big.
But
so my question was on the fact of knowing the control. You see that? Now, for us, we have some sense of control around how we want to distribute the podcast. But when you put it out there to first get the fame, then you deal with the business side of it. That affects the business in the end. But once you understand that from the beginning, and as this is why I was telling you, if Epas had known better, he would still have done the same thing. Because one, he trusts his product that we can see through his ego, and his music is really good. He trusts the product, he trusts that what he's saying is dope stuff, and people will buy into it sooner or later. Same with the EP. If it's coming out and you just, it's minimizing. Of course, you can't do away with but you can put some rules. Tell DJs do the same thing Epas has done, just that little. If you're not paying me in your clubs or your radios, don't just play my music. Don't benefit of it.
Now if you start with that kind of attitude, like, it's so delicate, by the way. Like, this industry is so delicate and people are so sensitive. That's what I have to tell you. If you start like that, in your mind, you're trying to target what you're saying of control over your music. But what you're communicating this side is this person has an attitude, can't work with them, and everything. You get
Kanye West.
No, by the way, how many people can stand Kanye? How many Kanye Wests can you stand in the world? Are you seeing? Like, that's why he's one of him. And if you have anyone trying to copy him, everyone's going to be like, that's a narcissistic bastard. Allow me to use that. You get
minus the media trying to bring his personal, private, family life to us. Yes. The business ego of handling things. I think that is the best way to handle anything to become great.
I hear what you're saying, but like I'm telling you, as long as I'm starting to release from here, that is what applies, because different. Let me say, the rules of the game change according to a country, is what I can say. As long as you're releasing from here, you have to start out like that, because that's what the masses are, and the biggest percentage of the population is the youth. You're not going to have the youth spending money, so to say, to listen to your music. You're going to have to first avail it freely and later on make money in, let's say, you're going to perform in schools, concerts. You're going to build your popularity like that, because that's, so to say, the rules of the game that have been created, and to break them, you don't just break them overnight. Like, it's something that is, remodeling and changing. So you can't start out like that. Like, all of you will find my music here. They're actually just going to look at you and be like, oh, okay, we shall see it on TV. So if it shows on TV, like, oh, where can we find this song? It's for downloading and you have to pay some money. People will be like, Remember when they wanted to monetize WhatsApp?
Yeah.
And people actually were going to boycott it because what do you
We're
mean
not
pay?
sure if they were going to boycott it. It's very addictive. That how do you know that people are going to boycott it?
Because most people were like, there's no way. Like in your mind, would you buy data to be on this platform to keep, paying again?
To be on the platform.
Yes. On a daily basis. Imagine that. It's different from, like, let me say, Showmax, Netflix. That's a monthly kind of subscription. But imagine you're doing like a daily thing where you have to
People paid OTT daily to access this platform.
But why do you think it was removed and slid into data? Because people found a way to beat the system because they didn't like it.
I don't think they beat it. I don't think the number of people that are streaming BPM. But besides that, what's your definition of success as an artist? Is it having very many people show up at a concert, yet the concert is literally owned by some other businessman who understands the business of music, but your fame and the whole world, you can trend on Twitter that Felicity's EP is out, can trend? Or, what's your idea of
I believe my idea of a successful person in the art and entertainment industry is if you're known worldwide. If your music is being sung, let me say, Burna Boy, he just did, I think, 3 different concerts and he filled stadiums. That's a success. Like, you have people showing up and they know your lyrics from beginning to end. That means people are putting in time, money to listen to your music, and it has impacted them in whatever way. If it's sexually, emotionally, like, it has impacted them and they're there. So a success story to me is if my music is known globally, if my name is known and my craft.
I was listening to Chameleon.
Beyond,
Let me give you his argument.
Yes.
I was listening to him on Tasker Conversations. So he was talking about 2 things. Management, from back then where he was supposed to be, he believes that if he was really handled well and managed well, if there was proper management, like what's happening to people like Azawi right now,
yes,
if there was proper management, then he would probably be the biggest thing in Africa. Because it's no doubt, Chameleon is really talented.
Yes, true.
But what he really means by management is he didn't have direct control of the music. Yeah, so he just got there, but he's popular. He's done the most concerts. He has the most concerts in the country. He has the best turn-up in the country. Yeah, he's the biggest artist.
But then how comes he was able to sell his copyrights to, someone? Like, if he didn't have really control of his music.
He didn't know what happened with his music, according to him, was the money was really, really, really important for him to survive. So whoever had a better deal, and of course, people take advantage of people.
Yes.
If you're ignorant, you're ignorant. And I also don't understand management. How are you managed? Sorry. Because when you look at, we've had a lot of Ugandan creatives fall out with their management. From The Myth, Clear Cut. No, not The Myth and Clear Cut. The Myth and Kinetic. Ryong and Kinetic. Shiba and Jeff Chiwa. Chameleon and Jeff Chiwa. Radio and Moses. Radio and Weasel and Jeff Chiwa. And it's always been bitter. It's not like it's not out there. We've seen Wayne and Batman and everyone else. We've seen guys complaining, evictions, and good music. But for you, what's your ideal type of being managed right as an artist? What do you think? Do you understand how you're supposed to be managed?
Well, I think I do understand how I'm supposed to be managed, because I do understand the percentage that would come to me, say, if there are shows and what, which most of these people didn't have because they built their relationships first off as business relationships. Now, me with Joshua B and Ryonga, it was friendship. Then they started to grow and cultivate my talent. You get? So these are people who I can trust. Luckily, I should say I'm lucky that they will not cheat me because we've pulled different sides of the rope.
It's about the trust, yeah?
Yes, it's about the trust to me. Yeah. And also of how you started your relationship. Because when you start off a business relationship, as a business relationship, it's strictly business. By the time, if it's strictly business, that means, say, if I'm a manager, I can play you as the artist because it's business. TLC. You remember when they finally announced and they're like, we're broke. And everyone's like, what? You guys have been selling all these copies. You're winning all these awards. And you actually don't have money. It was business.
How sure are you that if you start out as friends, money is very tricky.
True.
Yeah, it won't happen like that.
Like I said, trust. Bottom line is trust. Yeah.
Okay. Now, away from the music and the acting and the creative, let's talk about you, Felicity.
All
Tell me
right.
about you
About
as a
me.
person.
What exactly?
Tell me
That's
about
a broad
your values.
question.
What motivates you? How are you surviving life?
Okay.
Yeah.
I pray. I pray. I do. That one I can't lie. I really do rely on God. I'm a strong believer in God, and I feel like that's the basis or the foundation of everything else. My values, my dealings with people, to have integrity, to be kind, to be forgiving, to be patient. I feel like that's the basis of how I operate.
How much do you understand God?
How much do I understand God? I believe I have a personal relationship with God, as like a personal friendship with God.
How do
That's
you
how
relate
much
to
I
your God?
I have a personal understanding with God. Let's just say I engage myself in conversation with God, like and I've had like good results come out of it. I wouldn't continue to cultivate a friendship, so to say, or a relationship with God if there were no
What
results.
do you mean you've had good results? When I have a conversation with you?
Good results. Let's say, for example, if you prayed for something or you told God, okay, I'm going to do this and do that, and
Then you go
I
ahead
want
and
this
work
as a
hard for
result. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Like, I'm going to do this and do that. Like, bless the works of my hands. I'm going to set out and go on that set. Like, let me be the best person I can be when I interface with these people. Let your favor come upon me, and may they see like good and want to work with me. And yeah, and you go on set and everything you envision, and because I do meditate, everything you envision and everything is playing out right before you. Definitely. Those are results.
All right. The one concluding question we usually
Yes.
have
Yes.
is what legacy are you trying to leave behind as the individual you are, as the artist? Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to leave a legacy of I was a jack of all trades and a master of all. Like, not one, not like, that when I got the mic to sing, I actually did sing and, dropped the mic. That when I got on set, you loved every single film I did. That when I voiced or when I got into business, because I'm not limited to just as a business is something that always everyone in the industry does. You have to venture into, investment, something. That when I did business, it did flourish. Like, so I want to be known as someone who was a jack of many trades and a master of all. Yeah.
Okay. Finally, what are your top 5 movies? One.
Oh wow, top 5. I watch too many movies
You must
and
have a top
cartoons. Okay, Lion
5.
King.
Yeah, Lion King.
Definitely Lion King.
And why?
Cartoon.
The movie and why?
Okay, I Lion King is like a timeless piece to me. Like, it's a cartoon I can put on and rewatch. Like, I'm just watching it for the first time. Like, they did, and I mean the first one, the first Lion King. I don't mean this new one, the cartoon. Like, it was so, everything they did is so relevant even right now. Like, even their dialogues, their humor is still funny up to now. So I feel like it was a timeless piece. So well done. The music, everything was so well done. So I really love Lion King 1, 2, 3, the whole franchise.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really, really, really more into series, but I love Tom Cruise movies. Hands down, I love Tom Cruise. Mission Impossible, like, I look
you
up
watched
to
the
him
latest?
as Top Gun. No, but I booked a ticket. Yeah, I'm going to watch it tomorrow. So Tom Cruise is one of the people that really, I'm sure, inspires so many actors because he does most of his stunts. And you'd feel like, oh my God, I didn't know that it's actually possible to be there and your stunt double is actually doing less. So he keeps pushing himself. He will do martial arts. He actually had to study to be a pilot for this movie. So I like how he pushes himself because I also love a good challenge. I love taking on challenges. So he really does inspire me. So I love Tom Cruise movies. So I can't really limit it because I love,
Okay.
yes. And then 3, 4, and 5, I think I'll put them in series.
Okay, let's go series.
Series, How to Get Away with Murder.
Why?
So well done. The plot twists, the acting, and how Viola Davis, like when you 1 minute you're thinking she's just the lecturer, and the next she's actually a murderer, and I loved how it was pieced together. I really loved it. And then Money Heist.
I hate Money Heist.
I loved
Oh
it.
my
I actually did love it.
I watched the first 6 episodes and that was it.
What? I loved it, especially because of the professor. Mind games.
It became too predictable, I think. Then you know how you're like a Jack Bauer in 24?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're going to call you and you're going to show up from the sky.
And figure it out.
No, that no.
Well, I really loved the
I like
4
movies
seasons.
where...
Yeah.
I like movies and series where even the villains have such lead roles. You see Prison Break? Mm-hmm. To me, what makes it really, really good is the fact that it's just not Michael Scofield doing a good role. Bagwell is doing a good role. Alexander Mahone is doing a good role. Everyone there is
Everyone's
just so
bringing
perfect.
their A game,
and
yeah.
they're bringing their A game. Like, you just can't tell that, oh, this is
The lead.
lead
Yeah.
actor. Everyone is like the lead actor.
Yeah.
Everyone's part is, yeah. So, number 5?
And number 5. Number 5, I actually did love Batman that had Christian Bale. Christian Bale?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I loved his Batman. Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Yeah.